Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Ashley Van Dyke with Advantage Software, and on today's video, so what is Multiscan anyway? We're going to get to the bottom of why your cursor may sometimes go to the end of your document. If you've ever ventured to any of the social media accounts or groups related to Advantage Software and Eclipse, you've probably seen the posts about Multiscan. Multiscan can sometimes cause your cursor to jump to the end of your document after you perform a global, select a conflict choice, or some other editing options. Multiscan is intended to allow you to edit faster. I'm going to show you how it actually works when you're trying to use it. Multiscan is a scan command in Eclipse, and you can turn it on and off by either hitting Control-Shift-M as in Mary, and if I hit Control-Shift-M, you see that in the bottom right of Eclipse, I have an MLT indicator that's turned on now. If I hit Control-Shift-M again, MLT turns off. I can also access MLT from the Move menu. If I go to Move, Multiscan is one of the options, and you see that Shift-Control-M is the hotkey listed next to it. So I can also click on Multiscan to enable it. And once Multiscan is enabled, when I perform a scan and then make an edit, it will automatically repeat the scan after I make the edit. So if I scan for untranslates by pressing Control-U or Hyperkey-U, I'm taken to this first untranslate, and I can global it as Stuart, Florida. And when I hit Control-M to put this into my main dictionary, because this is an entry I want to retain, it's going to take me to the next untranslate in the document. And so I can global this untranslate as well. I'm going to make this a local entry because that's a misstroke. And that's the last untranslate in my document, so it's taken me to the end of the document. Next, I can also do the same thing for conflicts. If I go to the top of the document and press Control-O to move to a conflict, you see that I am brought to the first conflict here. And this one chose correctly, so I can press Control-O to move to the next conflict again. Or, if I wanted to, instead of pressing Control-O from this first conflict, I could reselect the correct conflict choice again by pressing 1, and that will also move me to the next conflict. I'll choose the next conflict choice here, which is option number 2 for WHERE. And it takes me to the next conflict immediately. I'll choose option number 1 for the correct version of in, and option number 2 again for where, option number 1 again for in, and now I get taken to my AN conflict. And I can again just choose 1 to select it and move on, or I could hit Control-O to skip over it. And as I continue selecting conflicts, it continues automatically taking me into the next conflict option. This works with all types of scans in Eclipse, and that's why sometimes after you perform an action with Multiscan enabled, it takes you to the end of the document, either because you didn't first perform a scan before you globaled or selected a conflict, or because there's no more applicable scans to be made, and so it takes you to the end of the document to indicate to you that scans of that type have been exhausted. And so you can then move on to your next scan in the document and use MLT to move through the document again, looking for your next group of options. This type of editing is great if you like to go through and do all of your untranslates first, go through and do all of your conflicts together, and that kind of thing. If you don't want to use Multiscan, you can just hit Control-Shift-M to turn it off. And you can unbind the hotkey under Alt-U, Edit, and Keyboard. We can find Control-Shift-M in this window. And you can either modify this key to do something else. You can modify the keystroke to be something else so that it's something you might not hit as often accidentally if you do want to use Multiscan, or you can just delete it from your settings and it'll be removed and no longer work. So now that I go back into Eclipse after removing Multiscan from my settings, if I hit Control-Shift-M, you see that nothing happens in the bottom right of my screen. However, if I go up to Move and click on Multiscan, I can still turn Multiscan on and off that way. However, Control-Shift-M no longer toggles Multiscan on and off because I've removed it from my settings. If you're on a version prior to 9, you may have trouble removing it from your settings, and you may want to assign a different keystroke that you're less likely to hit by mistake if you're having trouble with enabling multiscan on accident. You can change the hotkey by going to your user settings and to the Edit tab, and you can click on Keyboard. And let me actually first put multiscan back in since I removed it. So if you go to the keyboard, we can go down to Control plus Shift plus M again. And this time, instead of removing it from my settings, I'm just going to change the hotkey so that I don't hit it on accident. So I can press where it says keystroke, and you see that it says Control plus Shift plus M is the current keystroke. I'll choose standard since this is a standard keystroke, and I'm going to put in a new keystroke that I want to use for multiscan, one that's maybe not so easy to hit. In this example, I'm going to put in Control Shift Alt X and press OK. And then in this list now, if we go down to Control plus Shift plus M, that one is no longer going to be listed. You see that it's missing. However, if we go down to Control plus Shift plus Alt plus X, multiscan is listed with that keystroke now. And so if I close out, I can hit Control Shift M and nothing happens. When I do that, I don't get a multiscan indicator. However, if I hit Control Shift Alt X, I get my multiscan indicator, and when I scan to something and make a selection, it automatically moves me to the next conflict choice or whatever I've scanned to. So multiscan can save you a lot of time as long as you're using it on purpose. It can be alarming if it's accidentally been enabled and you don't know what's happening. Again, you can usually just hit Control Shift M to turn it on or off, or you can remove it from your settings altogether if you find that you hit Control Shift M by mistake a lot. I hope that this has been helpful in learning how multiscan works and making it more of a useful feature instead of just a meme on Facebook. Multiscan can be useful, and there are a lot of customers who use it successfully to save time. And if you need any help with it, please call tech support. Thank you for joining us today to watch our multiscan video. I hope that this video has been helpful in illuminating some of the mysteries around this feature and how it can be helpful if you do choose to use it. If you have any questions about multiscan or any of Eclipse's other great features, please call us anytime 24/7 at 772-288-3266. As a reminder, anytime support 24/7 is available, including weekends and holidays. Email support can always be reached at support@eclipsecat.com. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying our content, and please share it with a friend if you think it may be helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.